honestly look like is Cisco about to get the good wang on Safari first? I don't know, but like, cause y'all, it is your girl Ash, and welcome back to Ashland. And if you're new, welcome. Let's get on into this. We're recapping episode 7, season 2 of Love and Hip Hop Family Reunion, and bruh. So we fresh off of Safari and Cisco getting into this little tangent, finagle. Like they look like about to come to blows on us, y'all. Like Safari, I think that was like his glasses that he threw. I think it was his glasses. So they getting all into it, like you shouldn't be checking me, whatever, whatever. But either way, they stop this fight. They break this fight up or whatever or whatnot, and you know they checking in with Cisco. They checking in with Safari, like Peter telling Safari, you shouldn't even went there. Like, this just ain't even the right time. You know, you know, they telling, Safari, don't even stunt this, don't even worry about it. Like, it ain't even like for you to even be even stunting or whatever or whatnot. Like, don't even like trip over this dude. Don't even let him get you out your element, whatever, whatnot. So, anywho, let's get into this little nitty gritty or whatever, whatnot. Finally, Mimi and Stevie having a little chat, having a little kit kat or whatever, whatnot. And of course, Stevie is wanting to start anew. He's wanting to start over. He's gonna be in Atlanta more, so he's making promises to, do this, do that. After seeing the stuff that's going down with Safari and Erica, he's like, like kind of like I guess in a I get it now moment. Like I was out here kind of like doing these like little same little sneaky dicky little moves or whatever, whatnot. So, he trying to like, really get back into, getting a better relationship with Mimi, because they've been actually, friends for like a very long time, like decades, y'all. So I get it. Like I can definitely get how there is, love there, no matter what or whatever or whatnot. But at the end of the day, Mimi ain't even trying to hear nothing that he got to say. Like she tired of the promises, she tired of the back and forth of, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, making promises that, you normally ain't keeping. So she ain't even trying to really, hear him necessarily or whatever, whatnot, which is I ain't even mad because this is like normal Stevie. How many times do we see, Stevie come back? But the crazy thing is I actually hear a genuineness in Stevie. And so I actually kind of can like be on his side a little bit and be like, all right, like I kind of hope that, things will be, he can get it together. He can really like stick to his word or whatever, whatnot. But only time is going to tell. So all right, so Cisco and Rich is, out for this little run or whatever or whatnot, of course, addressing the issue of, whatever. He's like, I did check him. I was checking him. Like, he embarrassed me. At the end of the day, my aunt, like, helped his career. People was checking me and checking me. And I stand by my word, y'all. Like, I get it that, but at the end of the day, if he didn't show up and he told you to show up, I don't really like that shouldn't come on you. That you shouldn't be embarrassed. You shouldn't be just man up about it or whatever or whatnot. But what really got me is like finally him and Sin sat down and y'all like this sit down like first off yet again we're still trying to mend these fences and still trying to Marcus says, stand to his word. Like he really, trying to get Safari up to, owning up to his, his wrongs, taking account well, really more taking accountability or whatever, whatnot, which we finally get him to admit that he did. That he had, sent this girl flowers or whatever or whatnot. Like, fine, just stick to that. Like, y'all been through a divorce. That's what you've been saying this whole time. Like, y'all been going through a divorce this whole time. So you feel that she can do whatever she want to do, and you can do whatever what you want to do. But again, that's how you feel. That don't mean that's how Erica feel. So, whatever, that's that. So they really just, that was that in the gym. Let's get into this conversation with Sin and Cisco. It's Jonathan's event, and before his event, he is basically kind of like, I won't say a mediator, but he's basically initiating and sitting in on this conversation between Sin and um, Cisco. And so, y'all, like, let's get into it. So, Cisco's basically saying, at the end of the day, we were cool, we were friends. So it was like, I took this, for this first bill as like a little courtesy. And then second, go around like, boom, like here's, you need to, here's now your bills or whatever, whatnot. Sin's basically saying, well, right, but you won't even trying to give me those bills, or would you even have even given me those bills if I would have gave you what you wanted, if we would have been together, if I would have gave you that poom poom, like would it even have been that, like what would I have even got a little invoice or whatever or whatnot? And y'all tell me like what y'all think. Is it because like Sin didn't know the game and she should have been hip to the game, or is it Cisco's fault for one assuming that they probably would have, been something. He probably did, maybe, threw her that invoice because, she rejected him. Or, three, like what y'all think? Like, what y'all think it is? So I'm kind of like, it had me thinking a little bit. Like, maybe, like, it is on Sin. Like, maybe she should have, been up on this stuff. Maybe she should have been educated to this, but at the same time, maybe she read it because, oh, yeah, because that's what it was. Cisco was like, he talking about like that they was kicking it, that they was hanging out, that Sim was asking him to like hang out, and I'm mad like that didn't even like they didn't address more into that conversation because he was like, well, can't you admit that maybe you might have given me the wrong idea or whatever or whatnot? So I'm sitting here like, mm. So all in all, he is like, well, I got the song for you. You got the song. I sent the song to you, and she like, I'm good. Like it's negative, nothing but negativity, with that song now. And I don't even want that. Like I moved on. I've got songs out. I'm an artist, and basically all my music is for my brother. So I don't even, need that no more. Like Shorty just, booming on. So nonetheless, they end up, you know, making up, hugging, hugging it out or whatever or whatnot. So that's one fence mended. He still got one more to go with Safari. And from that preview, chat, that don't look like that's gonna end well. It honestly looked like and Cisco about to get the good wang on Safari first. I don't know, but like, cause all bets off, I'm on Safari, but that's just me. So it's Jonathan's event, and he is basically like having like an LGBTQ gay pride event, and he's going to be educating everybody on gay conversion therapy, as he has been one himself who has been through that. Basically where they tortured him, where they basically like would like send electric shots through his body, for saying certain things or having certain feelings, and traumatic. Like for him to be standing here, for one thing, and be able to even just to tell that story, because I can. That's just beyond like crazy. So but like who like I guess like I don't know y'all. Like I'm at the same time I'm like who would have thought that this would have like but at the same time it's kind of like why would it not have caused such I don't even know what's the word that I'm even trying to use because it was so much that just popped off and just from Amina making a comment that made Peter feel like like that could hurt him in a way because he's basically in people make him possibly being like homophobic or basically something to that nature or whatnot. So everything, started off well, Jonathan, was just educating them and, telling them how this is, something that's still, legal, in states. And that's had me wondering, like, maybe I need to, like, that's something I might need to, look into. Like, is that something that's legal in the state that I live in? Because, like, y'all, like, that's crazy that people are actually, like, really doing this. And if that, they were doing that to him as a child, like, imagine children still going through this, no matter even how young or how old. Like, that's just beyond. So, you know, they have this, this guy here, Matthew, and he's, just there, just basically, I think it was born. Oh man, I can't remember the name of his website, but it was just crazy because it honestly at the same time seemed like some people was still a little bit uncomfortable, with this, event or with the conversation. Zell, and I actually thought Jewels looked a little bit, uncomfortable, but hey, maybe that was just me. But, nonetheless, or whatever, or whatnot. So, everybody, was supportive. And, Peter, for one, was the, one of the ones who openly was just like, I support, I'll share it, when I see you, post certain things. And Amina, that's when Amina took it upon herself to make the comment that, basically you're saying all this and you support and all rah rah rah, but you wouldn't even let your son wear a ladybug costume. Now, mind you, this ain't even Amina's son that we talking about. This is Tara's son that we're talking about. And that completely turned the event upside down. Peter's trying to get up on the stage because he's trying to, come to his own defense, and trying to explain or whatever, whatnot, and just say, like, don't, come at me like that. Like, don't put that on me. Like, that could, ruin me or whatever or whatnot. And it's even to the point like they had to, he left. He tried to get away because it was like, that much. And Amina is so passionate and she's so like I said, just passionate about, the conversation and, how she feels about it. And it next thing I know, I think next thing I know it turns into a, you know, a Bobby Bobby and what's baby name Zell thing, like, like they because they both for one, like Zell, not Zell, but Jonathan and Bobby were both like on a, you know why couldn't he wear the costume, like, they don't get it. And, Jonathan really felt towards that, like, I've been there where, I wanted to be able to wear, a certain type of costume, and being told that, I couldn't because, it was for a specific, um it's technically for a specific, gender or whatever or whatnot. And that's when Zell basically was just said, like, he made a comment basically saying, like, you know, basically, like, Peter was right in saying what he said, and that's why it's good. He was being a good dad, and he was being a good dad because I had a dad, and my dad still taught me, like, manly things and, like, manly values and just, morals and, like, just, like, things like that. And I could definitely see how that was taken offensively because, like, you're basically saying because Jonathan and Bobby were raised by, women is why they are more flamboyant and more openly, and just with their gayness. And I'm like, one, that's offensive. Bobby not being raised by, having his dad around, definitely, triggered him. And it was like, nah, like that won't even like Zell. No, that won't. Nah, boo, that no, he ain't get it in my book like that. Like it won't cool on that except the way he tried to say it like that. I get what he was saying, but I know guys who've been raised by, having their mom and their dad and are still, flamboyant. So if he was just trying to say that that's why they are the way they are because they didn't have a dad, mm, I can beg to differ, even, on my own. And, and even even on the subject of, just because, I have kids, and, one of my children's father, what I could definitely see how, um, that possibly could be an issue, in my home. I'm okay with my kids, expressing themselves, but possibly one of their fathers is gonna have like a little, but I ain't gonna get all into that. But me as their mother, I am going to allow son and my daughter to. Matter of fact, I myself literally when I went, shopping, for journey, whether it's morally okay for a girl to do it than a boy to do it, like I was, going shopping, just looking for little, just little, stuff for to wear, so cold, little sweatsuits or whatever, whatnot, and I went to the boys section and see, well, what the boys section had. It didn't do nothing but some different colors, some black and red and whatever, whatever. She can still be strong and brave and whatever the thing said just because she ain't a girl. And the other one was like crawl walk. She still crawl walk even though the dirt sweatshirt is gray and black. Like what? Now I'm not gonna sit here and say that I'm going to purposely, go and buy my son a floral dress because I think the dress is cute, but some things can be unisex. I'll basically say, and possibly yes, more susceptible for a girl to be able to more wear boy stuff than for a girl. A boy to wear girl. I'm getting that all mixed up. Y'all know what I mean. Let's go on into this. Let me not stay on that too long. So y'all, everybody, like I said, everybody's just having a fit. Everything is just, going crazy. Bobby's, upset because, him and Zell not really able to, get through to each other, and have a conversation. And, Amina, she's, passionate. She's in her feelings. She's passionate about, the conversation. Even again, this one, like her child or whatever. She just felt like, it was messed up or whatever or whatnot. And I guess seeing, him, cry or whatever because, he wanted to, which was weird because they was giving off different stories because Peter said they were in the store and that they saw the costume. He said no because it was pink or whatever, whatnot. And I guess that was the main thing why he couldn't be a ladybug because it was pink. So and they passed it. Now Tara says that they were in the house, and by the time they got home, and something about was always changing his mind about what costume that he wanted. Either way, by the time they got home, he already had a costume, and whatever. Nonetheless, you know, basically, Rich feel like that Amina was wrong. He calling her out, like he love that, them kids, you was wrong, for doing that, and Erica went over there like like hey you know Amina don't even usually even step up and even open her mouth and even like you really like even say much. So for her to say what she said, like that was like like big for her, and just really just identifying the fact that yes, like this is still taboo in the black community, and really not even just in the black community, it's taboo in all communities, and a lot of communities out here, so it was just like get that girl some grace, like get that girl, whatever, whatever. No, granted, it might not have been right, it might not even came out the right way or whatever, but just hear her out, whatever. Basically, is what I think. I mean, Erica was all, basically just trying to say. Y'all, nonetheless, even after all that, Zell still, was like, admitted that he kind of felt like that he did feel like that Jonathan was lying about his little, about the gay conversion situation, therapy, and, but he was finally, ready to, basically, have that conversation, and just, apologize, and be sympathetic, to, what was going on. And, not even what was going on, but, Jonathan's situation. And mind you, Bobby is over there in like full breakdown, hurt by Zell and the things that Zell said, and he's venting to Sin, and Bobby just basically feels like that everybody's trying to open up, so everybody can understand each other, and basically Zell is completely being sympathetic and not being sympathetic to everybody's differences and situations, and he's just done over it. But Zoe realized that he over there upset. He comes, he apologizes. I love you, all that. Bye 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 bye. They kiss and make up, whatnot. Cool. Boom. And Zelle's like, basically, we've drawn boundaries. We now just have these boundaries with each other, and now hopefully we can move forward and not have these issues. So the drama is going to keep unrolling next week. So let's go ahead, stink into this. So hit that subscribe button so you can be with me when So yes, you can be let know and be with me when I go ahead and drop this video. Talk to me. Let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments. Get that jank a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll see y'all next Monday.